Bonjour mes amis and welcome to Cooking with Linux. I'm Marcel Gagne and I have to tell you right now, I'm feeling a little on the heavy side. I just got back from all-you-can-eat sushi downtown with a friend of mine, and let's just say that I feel a little tiny bit guilty about how much I've made. Every once in a while I think it should be possible for someone to rescue me from my excesses. Not this one in particular, but my other excesses. Speaking of which, today I'm drinking an Italian wine, Mezzomondo Puglia. And it's 2015 in this case is the year on this one here. And it's nice. It's an inexpensive wine. Lots of cherry flavors on it. A little bit of pepper. You'll like this one. It's at the LCBO. If you happen to be in Canada, if you're somewhere else, I can't help you, because I happen to live in Canada. But anyway, in Ontario, Canada, for that matter. But like I said, I was out having sushi and I'm stuffed. So, I may need someone to come and rescue me after I collapse from from all this overeating. And I had a chocolate brownie afterwards. Just awful. Anyway, so today's Cooking with Linux is all about rescues, actually. Anyway, so enjoy. And see you on the other side. All right, everyone, here we are back on my Linux system, and I have a little folder here called Images, little directory called Images, and in the directory called Images, I have 3 files at the moment. One of them is called linuxdrive.img. The other one is called windrive.img, and the other one is a SystemRescueCD. That is the one that you would burn to a CD-ROM or a DVD if you wanted to boot up off your Windows system that needed some rescuing. Now, I don't have a Windows system here to show you, so I'm faking it. All right, and I'm faking it with windrive.img. I'm going to show you how that happens in just a second. First of all, I'm going to show you how these images came to be, all right? There's a little command called QEMU. Actually, QEMU, if I hit tab, you'll see is a double tab, is a collection of lots of little commands. And I'll just clear that again for a second. And one of them is called QEMU -img, and that one's really simple. I can actually create a disk file that I can use for whatever nefarious purposes I have in mind by typing QEMU-img create, give the file a name, I don't know, another drive in this case, .img, and I'm going to say that this one is just, 3 gig. Why not? 3 gig. Sounds like a nice odd number. And there you go. If I do an ls-l, you're going to see that I have my 3 gig, another drive.img there. Linuxdrive.img is sitting there at 8 gig, and so is windrive.img. All files which I've made a little bit earlier. All right. SystemRescueCD, obviously, I downloaded from the site. And in case you're wondering, I'll put that one in the show notes. But there it is, the SystemRescueCD site. System-rescue-cd.org. And like I said, I'll put it in the show notes so that you don't have to, just remember it off the top of your head there. But let me show you what happens. First of all, the next command we're going to use, you remember how there was QEMU had all these different little commands, right? Well, there's a bunch of system commands which allow you to emulate, lots of different types of hardware. The one obviously I'm interested in here is x86, your Intel-based hardware. And I'm going to say -boot, because I want to boot, and I'm going to say d-cd-rom, and the CD-ROM in this case is the system rescue disk, and I have a hard disk file, -hda, and the disk in this case is the WinDrive, okay? That's the WinDrive. Now, I'm going to do a couple of additional little things here. One of them is I'm going to add some memory to this thing, okay? So I'm going to say memory 2048, and actually I'm going to start it here because I want to show you something that you'll want to know what's happening. Now, by the way, these commands happen magically in the background with the virtual machine manager, and I know you guys have seen me use this before to install Linux distributions, and it's a really cool system, but if you just wanted to boot an image to have a look at it, you didn't actually want to install virtual anything, you just wanted to boot it, you could do it this way. Now, I'm stopping here because I want to show you something, okay? Here we go. All right, and it looks cool. It looks like everything's working, and I'm going to say number 7. We're going to boot the graphical environment, and here we go, we're loading. All right, and we're loading. And there's that nice text screen. We all love that nice text screen, and in fact, I'm just going to stretch that out so you can have a good look at it. There we go. A lot easier to see. Unpacking init ramfs. Loading kernel modules. We're waiting. We're waiting. What I want you to get the idea here of is that this is actually pretty slow. All right, and this is a pretty modern system that I've got here. Key map. It's a modern system, and it's got lots of horsepower. It's an i5 something or other, and it's got 12 gig of RAM. I mean, this thing should be able to run an image like this really, really fast. Otherwise, it's awfully painful, and it is painful. So let me just stop it. I'm going to do this command one more time, and I'm going to do one other thing. Enable -kvm. In other words, I want kernel level virtual machine acceleration because it's a modern system. It can do it. Watch the difference. All right. Well, that part's, just as fast. But here we go. Start directly. Start the rescue CD. I'm going to stretch this out so that you can see it better. Loading kernel modules. Default key map. All right. Let's just watch this thing. I hope you notice that this is going a heck of a lot faster than it was going before. And in fact, in about the time that it took for the last one to actually do its thing, we should be pretty much inside the graphical desktop. Boom! Here we go. All right, we'll try that again. Boom! All right, that's much better. Anyway, there you go. So it's a lot faster. So what we've done was we enabled kernel level acceleration. All right, here we are. We're sitting in our rescue CD. Now pretend for a moment, okay, that I actually have a real Windows machine. And the very first thing I'm going to show you a few things, but the very first thing I'm going to show you is gparted, all right? Gparted, there it is. There's my windrive.img file, the 8 gigabyte Windows drive that I created. All right, now let me give you a tour of this place. If you need to connect, this thing has a little web browser built in. It's not, a modern slick web browser, but if you need to find some information, like all the in-depth commands, like if you want to take a look in depth and see how this thing actually works and how all the tools work. I'm not going to spend hours showing you how to do this. This is a quick tour, but there it is. And it's using the network connection on my system to do this. You may have to use a plugged-in network cable or enable some other form of networking. But again, take a look at the notes if you need to get that deeply into it. But if you just have a plugged-in network cable like I have, it'll just come up. It'll just work. We can fire up another terminal, like the one that comes up automatically. We can open up a little editor so that we can write ourselves some note. And in this case, it's a Genie. I always called this Genie at first. It's Genie, as in, a genie in a bottle. But it's kind of an IDE slash... note-taking app or editor, if you don't want to use VI, which, is always in the system, of course, VI, yay. But I want to show you this, okay? So over here in gparted, you can see /dev/ACDA1, of course. If you wanted to, you can use the command line tools, fdisk-l/dev/SDA to find out what partitions exist out there. See? It's out there. Now, if we wanted to, we could just mount this and take a look at it. Now, this is an MTFS partition, so if I want full read-write capabilities, well, actually, if I just wanted to mount the silly thing, I could just go mount-t mount/dev/SDA1 /MNT/ and of course they just to keep things real handy, they created a Windows mount point for us. So -ORO read only, and there you go. Mount Windows. Windows is actually mounted. If I do an ls/mnt/windows, whoops, there it is. There's my Windows drive. Now, in case you're curious, I did say that I faked this. Okay, so if you go /l/mnt/windows, and you say, oh, I don't know, program files. Okay, program-files. You'll notice that there are program space files, rather. You'll notice there's nothing there because I faked this. I just created the drives. It's not a real Windows drive, okay? But of course, you can't write here, okay? Now, this is good if you just want to back up the drive, save your data, in case the drive is going bad and you just need to get the stuff off. All the settings, all the stuff that you've been working on for ages. You could just do, tar, zip, all those commands are all there, So you could create a backup onto a USB drive, whatever you want. But if you want to be able to fix this thing in some way, shape, or form, then you want to be able to do read-write access to this drive. So I'm going to go CD, and I'm going to go umount/mnt/windows. And let's go and do it. There's a command called ntfs-3g. That one will give you full read-write access to the Windows drive. And here, let's go back. Let's just go back to let's mount one more time. I'm going to show you this mount /dev/sda1/mnt/windows. In case you don't believe me, read only. Whoops, it still works. And I'm going to go touch /mnt/windows/fish. See, read only file system. There's nothing we can do about that. So let's do it again. mnt/windows, and I'm going to do ntfs-3g/dev/sda /sda1/mnt typing too fast windows. And now if I do the same thing again, touch /mnt/windows/fish, ta-da! See? Now we can read and write to the Windows drive. So you have the tools necessary to be able to access the hard drive on your broken Windows machine, whatever it is. And you also have the tools to reformat drives, to modify partitions if you need. I mean, obviously you can do a lot of damage here. But if you're careful, you've got all the tools necessary to be able to back up data onto an external drive. Maybe you've got a passport drive that you plug into it. Those little passport drives, little USB drives. You just plug it into the USB port. You mount one of those things. You copy your data over, and it's all safe. And then you can reformat and rebuild your Windows machine as you need to do. Of course, there are other little tools that are on the system. It's using XFCE, as you can tell, for the window manager there. There's a task manager that you can run to keep tabs on what's happening on the system. You can also access other tools like a PDF viewer. Part image will let you rewrite, back up for that matter, a complete disk image, and then write it back out, like if you had a disk image on that USB drive, and write it back out to your hard disk after you formatted it. Basically, everything you need to get in there and rescue your Windows system. It's all there. It's all there. It's all there. It's all ready for you. And that's where I'm going to leave it today. Okay? If you like what I do here on Cooking with Linux, please remember to like the video. Please remember to share it with other people, your friends, your neighbors, your loved ones, your enemies. I don't really care. Share it with people, your Linux user groups, all that lovely sort of stuff. If you haven't already done so, please, please, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And, let me know that this stuff is good, that you want me to keep doing it. And I'll keep doing it for you. All right? All right? Cool. Excellent. I'll talk to you next time. Take care out there. Bon appétit. À votre santé. And go pour yourself a glass of wine. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.